you have an audience that are stay-at-home moms and you are dressing in $600 to $1,000 pieces, your audience is not going to relate to that. They're not going to relate to that luxury lifestyle. So understanding your audience is a great way to kind of drill down to see how you should be moving forward with your style and your wardrobe.
You're tuned in to the Event Gems podcast, the podcast where coaches, consultants, and speakers learn how to produce transformational and profitable events. I'm your host, Natasha Wright, Chief Experience Curator at the Diamond Butterfly. Join me and other industry experts as we teach you how to maximize the power of your next brand building event. Time to drop those gems. Let's fly. Hey Trailblazers, welcome to another episode of Image Gems. Today I am super excited to welcome my guest, Drew Nicole, the Style Maven herself. She is a personal stylist, shopper, and image curator based out of Atlanta, Georgia. She serves high-performance CEOs by transforming their wardrobes through authenticity. Drew has been in fashion and merchandising for over 15 years and has used her experience to open her company of 2.5 years, Curated Image Design. So without further ado, let's welcome Drew to the podcast. Hey, Drew.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Oh, absolutely. So am I. I'm excited for this conversation. So before we get started, you guys know I usually do a this or that, but since we're in the new year and Drew's my first guest of 2023.
Oh, really?
Yes, popping the Event Gems cherry for 2023. So I'm thinking about renaming this or that and just calling it Insight Gems. So let's see how that plays out. Might switch it up later on. Let's get some insight into who Drew is and learn a little bit more about her. So Drew, are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes, okay. Let's do it.
Okay, all right. So phone in the bathroom or no phone in the bathroom?
Oh, that I was not expecting that. That was out of the bathroom. Yeah, out of the bathroom.
Out of the bathroom. Okay. Art museum or history museum?
Art museum.
City or countryside?
City.
Sneakers or dress shoes?
Okay, so I'm transitioning, right? So I'm always in dress shoes, but I'm slowly have been transitioning into sneakers just because of the type of work that I do. So I will say sneakers.
I definitely get it. You need to have some comfort in there. So pattern or plain?
Pattern with plain.
Oh, okay. She's mixing it up. All right. Red wine or white wine?
White wine for sure. Red gives me
headache. Me too. Yeah. Give me a Pinot Grigio all day long.
Yes. A nice rosé.
Yeah. Okay. I love it. All right, y'all. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, learning a little bit more about Drew. So now we're going to get into the business of what she does and the business of styling, right? So Drew, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the services that you provide through your business?
Yes. So as you mentioned earlier, I am a personal stylist here in Atlanta, Georgia. And what I absolutely love to do is watch the transformations of my clients happen in front of me day to day. So it's really exciting to help them find their wardrobe through their authenticity, their personality, and really just see them flourish in the transformation. It's incredibly exciting. So I spend a lot of time with my clients, getting really personal with them, understanding their life, their business, if they're a wife, if they have kids, their home life, just so that we can style them from a holistic approach.
I love that because I think that a lot of times when you think about styling, you're just like, all right, I'm just going to go to the store, pick out some things, or maybe even not necessarily styling, but fashion or how you dress yourself, right? So I love that you talk about that whole like holistic approach. It's like, all right, well, do you feel like your clients say you're getting all up in my business right now? Because you said
I let them know that from the jump. Like, I'm going to get in your business. You're going to be in mine, and we're going to be best friends to the end. You'll be just fine.
I love it. I love it. So it's really about building that relationship as well. It's not only getting to know them, but building the relationship with them so that over time, as your style evolves, then you're right there with them, right? Helping
Right.
them along the journey. Oh, I love it. So let's talk about your own style philosophy, right?
Mhm.
I follow you on social media and I see like your style. It's really like, I feel like it's almost like a laid back, beachy vibe, very like neutral colors, like a lot of the ones that I see you post on social media. So, can you talk a little bit more about your own style philosophy and how that has evolved over time?
Yeah, so the key word is evolution. My style has completely evolved over the last 2 years. I have just been in a position where I don't want to be plain, but I want my clothes to match my emotions, my moods. So I'm choosing colors that are a lot more muted these days. I don't default to black all the time, but I'm choosing muted colors because I'm in a space where I'm more spiritual these days. So the colors are a lot more calming, they're a lot peaceful. Even my patterns, they're not super bold and out there, they're giving you just a little touch. But right now, in my evolution of style and transformation, it's all about the spiritualness of it all. It's all about peace, ease. I want to be able to walk into my closet and easily pick something and put two things together or a couple things together, and it looks incredible. And that's something that I do with my clients too.
Yeah, I could definitely feel that neutral vibe. That's why I felt like it was beachy, but not to say that it's beachy looks, but it's that
Mhm.
beachy feeling. It's
Yeah.
where you feel that like calm. It's like you
Yes.
said, that neutral
Soothing.
feel,
Mhm.
soothing. Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
And it's so funny because I feel like that's one of the things that has been happening to me, and it's just something that's intuitive. So if you look at
Mhm.
my office right now, for you guys who are watching the live video, you'll see that my wall is bright yellow, right?
Mhm.
And I painted this wall like 7 years ago. And so now as I transition and as I evolve, I feel like I need to tone it down. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, so at some point I'm probably gonna change the color. Well, I am gonna change the color, but some future point in time. But I totally get that. It's having your style or your space really
Yes.
reflect who you are now in the journey and kind of honor your own evolution.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And that's so important because it's a lot more authentic. You get a pure, authentic version of yourself when you are portraying your personality in your wardrobe. Oftentimes when a client first starts with me and we go through their initial closet assessment, they have pieces in their closet that are a decade old or even older.
That's me.
But that's not who you are anymore. You are not a reflection of those pieces anymore.
Exactly.
So we get rid of those pieces. I have zero connection to them, and
Yeah.
sometimes I do get some pushback
Hmm. Oh, of
with
course.
getting
Absolutely.
rid of the pieces. But I remind my clients, like, hey, this is not who you are anymore. Let's give grace and thanks to those pieces that served you in that time period of your life. But we have
Woo. I
to
love that.
clean we have to clean this energy now and bring forth something new and make that space for something new.
Yeah, absolutely. I recently went through my closet and started taking out some pieces, and I had size 2 jeans. I can't tell the last time I wore size 2. I think maybe 23. I was like, size 2.
Yeah,
You know what I
yes.
immediately thought? Maybe I might lose weight and be able
That's
to.
always the initial thought. It's always the initial thought. But my pushback to that is, celebrate the body that you're in now because
Mhm.
you may not ever be that two again, and that's okay. That used to be a
Exactly.
version of you, but that's not who you are anymore. So you have to celebrate your body and what you're going to be bringing forth in the future.
I love that. Celebrate your body now, not, in the future or feeling dissatisfied or having regret about anything. Because as you get older, your body changes. So you have
Exactly.
to be comfortable in your own skin. And then speaking of being comfortable in your own skin, when I went onto your website, I loved something that you had on your website. I'm going to read it here. Uh, you said, you are one of a kind and created in a unique image. When you step on the scene, the world stops and takes notice. Your style speaks to who you are during these few moments that count, and you are feeling like the true rock star that you are. I was like, boom. I love
That
it.
messaging, right?
What? That copywriting is on point because
Thank
it
you.
really sucked me in. And I can only imagine, like, for business owners or leaders or trailblazers, like how we want to be the rock star of our own lives and really step into the room and command the room, right? And have confidence about what you're wearing. So let's talk about, how important it is then for business owners to really think about their style as they're building their brands and businesses. Because I think a lot of times, like we said, you kind of hold on to those old pieces. You don't want to let go, but you're in a new phase of your life. You're probably working on your mindset. You're working on, copywriting. You're working on your website. You're working on all these different facets of your business. And so sometimes you might not think about how style is integrated into this new version of yourself that's blossoming. So can you talk about the importance of your style and your wardrobe transitioning with where you are now?
Yes, absolutely. It's extremely important. And I tell a lot of my business owners that if you understand your business and you understand your audience, and you oftentimes have to dress relatable to your audience. If you have an audience that are stay-at-home moms and you are dressing in $600 to $1,000 pieces, your audience is not going to relate to that. They're not going to relate to that luxury lifestyle if your business is targeting stay-at-home moms. So understanding your audience is a great way to kind of drill down to see how you should be moving forward with your style and your wardrobe. It's also going back to that holistic approach. A lot of my clients, they don't just serve the people, they also serve their families, they serve their husbands, they serve their communities. So going back to styling in a more holistic approach, because their content is not going to always be business, 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 business.
Yeah.
They're catering to an audience and they want to still seem relatable to their audience. So they're going to be in more laid back attire, and knowing outside of what you're comfortable in, but also what your audience can relate to is also important.
What do you feel comfortable in as a business owner, and all the roles that you play in your life, right? It's not just the business, the business, the business.
Right.
Now, mind you, I think that, that's something that we also have to evolve through, because I think a lot of times when we start our business, it's the business, the business, the business.
Correct.
But we are whole people outside of the business with social lives, family, friends, and things like that. So also taking that into account is important. But what I thought was interesting is that you said you want to be relatable to your audience. So can you talk a little bit about that? Because what it sounds like is there might be some disconnect, right? If you're this luxury lifestyle type of brand, but you're saying that you're talking to stay-at-home mom. So then why is that important?
Well, it's important to understand and know your audience just so that you're putting out the appropriate content that they will respond to. If you're a business owner, you want to eventually have sales in whatever it is that you're selling. So you want to make sure that your content is appropriate and relatable. So there would be a huge disconnect if you have a following of stay-at-home moms, but you're dressing in $1,000 looks and going to the most expensive restaurants. 9 times out of 10, your stay-at-home audience is not going to be able to afford that type of luxury at this time. So it's impossible to, it's very important to understand who your following is, who you're catering to, so that you are able to speak to them. But my job is also understanding their audience as well, so that I know exactly how to dress them appropriately for content, for family, whatever the case may be. So as a personal stylist, that's the point of getting personal. I don't just understand your personality.
It's more than be the stylist. Okay, people, you get real personal. She goes down.
I specifically chose the lane of personal Instead of celebrity, instead of editorial, instead of fashion, I chose personal because I really appreciate the relationships that I gain with my clients, and watching their transformation and seeing them be able to go out on their own and style themselves eventually. That's gratifying for me. But I not only have to understand their personalities, but also their business. So it's double the work in a
The
sense.
marriage. Mm-hmm.
Yes, but it's also gratifying because again, it's a holistic approach to styling. I'm not a what I like to call blind stylist. Like get to
Mm-hmm.
know you a little bit and then go out in the stores and get all this stuff and hope that something lands. Like that's not what I do. We collaborate. Me and my clients collaborate with each other. So they see the vision I'm thinking, they come back to me with their ideas, and we find a happy marriage.
I love that. I love that. So then can you talk about the types of clients that you work with? Because when I was looking for someone who was a stylist to have on the podcast, it was just that a lot of people were celebrity stylists or personal shoppers or, that type of thing. So I do feel like there's a distinction in the specific niche that you have. So can you talk about who those clients are? And then we're going to jump into how you help them, with coming to a place of authenticity through their wardrobe.
Yes. Yes. So when I first started my business, I mean, like you mentioned, there's personal celebrity styling, which I knew that wasn't nothing against celebrities, but I just knew based off of my personality and the type of boundaries that I wanted to have, celebrity styling wouldn't be it for me. But then you have fashion stylists, which style like runways and editorials for fashion houses. Think Gucci, Louis Vuitton, those things that you see on the runway. And then you have editorial styling, which is stylists who just style for different editorial shots in magazines. But I knew that I wanted to do personal styling because I saw a niche in the CEO space, the speaker space, that they sometimes need a little help with their wardrobe and presenting themselves to their audiences. They are constantly on stage, they're doing podcasts, they're in front of the cameras doing television spots, and they didn't always know how to one dress for their body type and really understand that your wardrobe does portray a message. I like to tell people that your wardrobe is your first introduction before you even open your mouth to make a verbal one.
Boom.
So
That's a gem right there. Your wardrobe is your first introduction for
it
sure.
is.
For
It is
sure.
because people, we don't mean to, but we subconsciously judge
Exactly.
people based off of the way that we look. We don't realize that we're doing that, but we do, and we value a person and the things that they're speaking or what they're teaching or what they're saying based off of how they look.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that these women and men now that they understand the importance of a look that is flattering on them, looks good, is relatable, and can really make them stand out and shine in whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love this. So let's talk about the process, right? So you
Mhm.
talked about how you have like a very holistic approach and you really make sure that you understand who the person is, beyond the business, right? So what does that process or what does that method look like? Can you walk us through that? So for someone who might want to work with you or even hire their own personal stylist, what are some things that they need to be looking for?
Well, again, going back to the word personal,
Yeah.
if that person is not willing and wanting to be personal with you, I don't believe it could be a personal styling relationship. I
Mhm.
really have to understand my clients' personalities. They are all very different, as they should be, which helps with building their wardrobe in that authentic way. And one of the big keys to my process is collaboration. I collaborate with my clients on everything. They have a digital lookbook where they're able to see the looks put together, and we do a little chat on the lookbook to make sure that we're on the same page. And outside of that collaboration, we're also holding fittings. We're making sure that what we're seeing is actually flattering on them. It's very important to know your body type and the styles and the silhouettes that work for your body type. And because we are all different sizes and heights and all of the things, knowing your body type will make your clothes look a lot more polished and fitted. Also, having a tailor. Tailors are not completely
That's my go-to.
necessary.
Mhm.
But when manufacturers are making clothes, they're making standard sizes. And again, we're all
Exactly.
different shapes and body types. So having that tailor is just an extra chef's kiss that
Mhm.
really will do justice to your look. So I start with really getting to understand my clients and their business. And throughout the process of the personal styling, we're collaborating on all of the looks together. And once we finalize those looks, we come together and we do a fitting. If there's any necessary tailoring that needs to be done, that's taken care of. I like to make sure that my clients, they don't worry about wardrobe. Like, that's my job. So anything that has to deal with touching the clothes, making sure that the tailoring is done correctly, any type of returns, all of that is handled by me. I just tell them to show up to whatever we showing up to, and I'm bringing everything. You don't have to worry about anything else. It's a convenience that I'm offering to my clients.
I have many a bags in my closet or in my garage where it's clothing that I'm supposed to return. So I can only imagine how that alone is so valuable. Like outside of everything else that you offer, all the other services or all the other ways that you help your clients. So that alone, that part about returning items, oh my God. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna bring this back. Yeah, 6 months later,
Yeah,
it's still there.
yeah. I mean, it's true. I have
Yeah.
clients that they will buy doubles of things when they're not
Hmm.
shopping with me, and
Hmm.
whatever doesn't fit, it just sits in the corner.
Yeah, yeah. I love that it's this ongoing process, right?
Mhm.
There's this multi-tiered approach to really finding your authentic style.
Yeah.
So how long is this process? Because I hear a lot of different moving parts, right?
Yes.
So how long is this process of really coming up with or really helping your clients with feeling authentic in their new wardrobe? Like how
Yes. Yes.
ballpark?
Well, with my smallest experience, that process is about 2 months from beginning to end.
Hmm.
And that's virtual or in person. But a lot of my clients are retainer clients. So they're with me from 6 months to a year at a time. And that's largely because they have a lot of events on their calendars, they're hosting things. They're going and hosting international events. So a lot of them are with me for 6 to 12 months, but it always begins with a closet. I like to call it alignment. So a closet alignment. It always starts there because I like to visually see myself what I'm working with, like what needs to be getting rid of, what we need to get rid of, what we can hold on to, and start like a capsuled wardrobe there. So a capsule wardrobe where I'm basically building your wardrobe from the functional pieces that you already own. So think jeans, basic tops, nice viable pieces that we can still use to build foundational looks, and then we're adding in new pieces as we continue through the process.
Oh, okay. I love that. I love that. Yeah, I someone sent an email to me recently and they were talking about how they hired a house manager.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, they were just saying how that has not only like saved them so much time, but sanity and given them the opportunity to focus on their family time, right? As opposed to cooking dinner or bringing the
Mhm.
kids to school. And so I think that, with styling, it's one of those things where depending on where you might be in your entrepreneurial journey, maybe you're just starting out. So maybe hiring a stylist right now isn't the move for you, but as you grow into your business, you're going to start looking for ways that you could save time and save
Right.
money and have it be more stress free. So maybe it's hiring a house manager, maybe it's hiring an interior designer, maybe it's hiring a personal stylist, maybe it's hiring an event manager.
Right.
So let me go plug myself while we're talking right now, right? So those are all some of the things that as you grow as a business owner, you're going to want to start thinking about like, how can I show up in my genius, in my gift, and not have to think about
Mhm.
all the other moving parts in the background, but really fully show up as who I am. So for
Exactly.
yeah, so I love talking to people at different stages of their journey. So let's say they're not able to, hire you right now, but they're thinking about how they can curate their own personal style. Can you talk about what should we be thinking about when we're thinking about curating our personal style?
Well, the first thing would absolutely be to make sure you're in the mindset to do it, because purging can be
Ooh, what
very
does that mean? The
getting rid
mindset
of
to do it.
yeah, you really have to be, because it can be very emotional getting rid of things that hold sentimental value to you or some sort of value to you. So you really have to be in the mindset to be ready for a transformation. And the first step would be to go to the hub of your wardrobe, which will be your closet, and really starting to go in your closet, getting rid of all of those non-serving pieces that you still own. Get rid of all of those, donate it, give thanks, like I mentioned earlier, to the piece and how it was to you in your life back then, but really make space to allow newness and freshness to come in. And once you get rid of those pieces, build your wardrobe back up to a foundational wardrobe. So there might be jeans in your closet that you can still hold on to, basic pieces that you can still hold on to. And once you get through that part, then have a come to Jesus with yourself. And
Not a come to Jesus moment.
you do. You gotta have a come to Jesus with yourself,
It's true
and
though.
really ask, like, who am I? Who am I right
Mhm,
now? What is it that I
mhm.
do? What do I enjoy doing? What is it that I'm trying to become? Who do I see myself? I ask my clients this question a lot, is okay, who do you see yourself as in 3 to 5 years? What does that person look like on stage? Imagine yourself on stage or in front of a camera and tell me what she looks like. So sit with yourself and ask yourself, what do I want to look like in the next 3 to 5 years? Do I want to look more modern with clean lines, very chic? Do I want something more free flowing, a little boho? Like, who is it that I'm becoming? What personal journey am I on right now? And start incorporating that personality into your wardrobe. It could be with color, it could be with patterns, it could be pastels, muted colors, whatever the case may be. Understanding who you are right now in the present time will help you build your wardrobe to who you see yourself in the next couple years.
I know when I was going through my own like spiritual transformation, that was one of the things I felt very connected to that whole boho vibe,
Yeah.
So it was a lot of mixing of patterns, very Afrocentric,
Mhm.
and also just looking at other people that I would see online and thinking, oh, I like that. Like I like that look, and I'd
Yeah.
like to emulate that look.
Yes.
And then as I would start building my wardrobe around this new look that I had, this new bohemian bohemian vibe, right? But then that didn't even fully feel like me either,
Mhm.
So then I kind of started to experiment a little bit more with you still having like bold prints, African prints, but more of a chic look to it, like a more like an Afro chic, right, vibe,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But still not being fully present on how to put those looks together. So what I
Mhm.
do is I'll follow people online that might have like Amazon storefronts, and they have a look and I'm like, okay, this looks like something I like. I'll just go on their Amazon storefront link and purchase everything that they have on.
Yeah, but see, the thing with that though
Yeah.
is it's just like going into a store and
Hmm.
buying the full outfit on the mannequin because
Yeah,
it
absolutely
looks
right.
nice,
Hmm.
or how an outfit is merchandised beautifully on the table. They're
Hmm.
doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They're marketing it in a way where it catches your eye, it catches your attention, and you immediately buy it. But then the problem is you take it home because you're not going to try it on at the store because you don't
Mm-hmm.
like trying on things. So you're
Mm-hmm.
going to take it home. You're going to try it on at home eventually when you get to it. And then when you put it on, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look like how you thought
That
it
was
would.
exactly what happened to me.
Yes.
She has
I
a
know you're
completely
right.
different, right. She has a completely different body type than I do, you know?
Exactly.
So
That's the
like
key.
she's
That's
more like
why.
full figured. I'm more like
Mhm,
athletic-ish
mhm.
built, you know? So I saw
Exactly.
all these pieces. I'm like, wait a minute.
Mhm,
Wait a minute
mhm.
here.
And
This is
that's why
not
it's
working
so
either.
important to understand and know your body type because
Yeah.
that's really the cheat code to style and clothes fitting really well on you is understanding the silhouettes that work well for your body type.
So there are particular silhouettes that work for each different body
Mhm,
or variations of body type. So then
mhm.
can you talk a little bit more about that or dive a little bit deeper into that?
Yeah, so for example, if you have a rectangular shaped body type, right? And rectangular, think like an actual rectangle shape from top to bottom. Your shoulders are squared. You're not really full in the hips. You're just really straight up top to bottom. The goal for you would to be creating a waist, creating those hips. So styles that would kind of work for you would be those wrap styles because you're cinching in your waist. So wrap style dresses, fit and flare dresses. So you're fitted at the top, you're flared at the bottom, wide leg pants with fitted tops. Anything when you're a rectangular shape, your goal would be to create a waist around you because you don't actually have a waist. So once you create that waist, you're creating the illusion that you have that quote unquote hourglass figure shape. And so that's an example of what understanding the silhouettes in your body type would do for you.
I felt like you were speaking to me just now. Because number one, I love a romper because I
Yeah.
can get that, right? I can get that flare at the bottom, that cinch in the waist. And then recently I wore one and I was like, oh, I look good. I like this, you know?
Yes,
So
yes.
it's that constant like this discovery of what works best for
Yes,
you.
and
Mhm.
when you find that right, that that everything, like when you find that look and that fit that works for you, there's a whole different type of confidence that's pulled out
Oh
of you.
yeah.
It's like you put on something and you like, okay, somebody has to see me out today. I don't know where I'm
It,
going,
it's
but
it's one of those things where you're like, yes.
yes,
You're like,
yes, yes.
yes,
It
I look
changes your
good.
mood. It change like
Mhm,
just like music. Music can change your mood. You put on some Anita Baker or Sade, you instantly want to clean. You put
mhm.
on some rap music, and you probably want to go to someone's club. But clothes are like the same thing. They evoke that same type of emotion. They evoke that same feeling. It can get your adrenaline up. Color really does change your mood. Like
For
it's
sure.
it is an actual mental complex that can happen when you're putting on clothes that make you feel good. When I'm dressing my clients and they know they look good, they go on that stage and they convert. It's
Oh
just
yeah, they're
because
killing it.
they feel good. They feel good. They know they look good. They're comfortable on stage, and comfort does not
Mhm.
always mean leggings and t-shirts, everyone. Right?
She's sticking a pin right in that one. For you, for you,
Yeah.
for you, for you, for you.
Yes, yes. Let's drop the yoga pants and hoodies. Okay, we're not in quarantine anymore. Let's actually try.
We're back outside. We're back outside.
We're back outside. We're back outside. But yeah, it makes you feel good and confident, and like you
Mhm.
can literally take over the world because you can. You can.
It's so true. That's so true. I love that because you
Yeah.
can. All right. So then let's talk about what are some of the common mistakes then that you've seen that people make when you're thinking about elevating their style. Because you know you went through your closet. You're like, all right, I need to change. I have
Mhm,
parted ways. I have released these items from my
mhm,
closet.
mhm,
I have
mhm.
said it's time for some new energy, some new vibration in here that really reflects who I am. But there, we talked about body type, but what are some other common mistakes that you see when people are thinking about elevating their style?
So one of the biggest ones is following trends. Trends are cute in the
Not
moment.
me. That was me, right? Like being on Instagram, being like, okay.
I'm sorry. I'm just telling your whole business right now. I didn't mean to do that.
My
But
life, I'm gonna get my life together after this interview, y'all. I'm gonna be more conscious.
yes, yes. I mean, trends, right? Trends do not last a lifetime. Your style does. And when you are following the trends and nothing against boutiques that we see on social media, but oftentimes they're shopping from wholesalers that are only putting out trendy pieces out there. And it's okay to incorporate trends into your wardrobe from time to time, but it really is about understanding you, what makes you feel good, what looks flattering and good on you to incorporate into your closet. So I would say trends are the biggest no-no. And trends don't always look good on everybody. There have been a couple of influencers who have had lines with big box retailers and they look incredible in their stuff, and it does not always translate on everybody else. Why? Body type. So staying away from trends for sure, as much as possible. As much as
Say
possible.
no to trends
Yes,
unless
just
somehow
as
you're
much
gonna
as
figure out as much as possible, right? Because sometimes
yeah.
it's hard to stay away from it.
It's
Fashion
okay.
Nova be
Yeah.
calling you with these 70% off, or Shein, with this $7 shirt or whatever.
Yes, yes. That's another thing. Quality,
Yeah.
investing in good quality pieces. And no, you don't have to spend $100 on a top here or there, but understanding, like, one of the things I used to do a lot is really feel the fabric to
Oh
be
yeah.
able to tell the quality of it, because if you're buying quality pieces, they are definitely going to be more than the $7 from Shein,
Hmm.
but you know that they're going to last a whole lot longer. So going in and just buying pieces that are a little bit more on the cheaper side, you're going to be repurchasing those same pieces all over again. So you might as well invest in the better quality piece.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now we have our closet together. We have the common mistakes that are made. So let's talk about. We want to do a brand photo shoot, right?
Mhm.
What are some things that we need to be thinking about? Now we got our closet right. We're
Yes,
ready to show the world what we got, right? So
yes.
when we're thinking about brand photo shoots, are we thinking, all right, we got to incorporate our brand colors, or is it now that your authentic style is showing through? What are some things that we need to be mindful of when we're ready for and about to do our brand photo shoots?
Well, one of the things that is very important that most people don't think about is your photographer choice, because the mood of your brand matters when it comes to the photographer. So if the photographer is the editor that makes photos bright and airy, but the mood of your brand is a lot more chill, it's a little bit dark, a little bit subtle, that doesn't match your brand.
Ooh, that's a good
So
point.
yes, so photographer choice is very important. Location is another important thing. If you are a luxury brand and you're taking pictures in the park, that doesn't translate. So
Mm-hmm.
knowing the location, and I love collaborating with the photographer, the hair and the makeup. I give the lookbooks to them so that they know what the client is wearing and they have a general idea of how makeup should go, how hair should go, what look we should start with first. So it really is a team effort. Like your brand shoot should be a collaborative team effort so that everyone is on the same page and that it moves very smoothly.
Yeah.
Brand colors is yes and no. It's a little controversial. Some people turn their noses up at complete brand color photo shoots, but I think that it is a good idea for content purposes because you're going
Mm-hmm.
to be repurposing these images for collateral, for events, or marketing tools. So I do think that you should have some looks that are within your brand colors, but I also want people to think about their brand overall. What
Mm-hmm.
is their brand story? And what is the story that they want to portray to their audience? So you will want to incorporate those elements into your brand shoot. So if there's more lifestyle elements in your overall brand story, then you should be incorporating some lifestyle looks into your brand shoot. A lot of my clients, because they do have the business, but they also have a home life. I've had clients that have incorporated their kids into their brand shoot. They're in pajamas in their brand shoot because they are
Their whole lives. Yeah,
yeah,
they're showing you that the
it's
fullness of who they are. Yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. So it's the whole top to bottom of who they are.
I love it.
So, really understanding your brand story, what it is that you want to portray to your audience, that ties back then to the wardrobe, and also the important key elements with the photographer, hair, and makeup. All of that really matters. It really does matter.
So
It
then I love that. So then would you say when you're thinking about a brand photo shoot, are
really-
you then making sure that you contact the stylist first? Is that you're going to kind of go with the stylist and then based on the vibe or the mood, then you're going to select the photographer, or what is the process normally when you're working with your clients that you use?
Yeah, I would think the photographer would be first
Mm-hmm.
and then the wardrobe stylist, because the questions I'm going to ask is, okay, well, what is your brand story? What is the mood? What is the treatment that the photographer is giving you? Because I
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure that the wardrobe that I'm sourcing for you and getting for you for this brand shoot, that it makes sense with the surrounding, with the treatment, with your brand story. So I would say knowing who the photographer is first, putting
Mm-hmm.
together that treatment, and then reaching out to the stylist. Then the stylist would then give that information to the hair or makeup person to make sure that everyone is on the same page, because again, hair is really important. Like, depending on whatever the look is, you don't want to have hair that contradicts or makeup that contradicts, and having a professional hair and makeup artist is another key element to the brand shoot. Long story
Not,
short,
not,
brand
not your friend that's starting out.
correct. No. Brand shoots are not a quick 48-hour
Mhm.
turnaround thing. This should be a well thought out event that's taking place, because this is going to have maybe 6 to 12 months of content, depending on the photographer that you choose, and depending on
Mhm.
how many looks you go with. This is 6 to 12 months of content. Everything should be very intentional, because this is the content that you're putting out to your audience. You're telling your audience, this is who I am.
Mhm.
So brand shoes are important, absolutely, especially if you're a new brand, but it's something that you absolutely have to be intentional about and start well in advance.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it could be for years because I've seen people with photos that they've recycled and it still feels energetically like who that person is. So if
Yeah.
you're going to invest the time and energy, be intentional, is what I hear you saying. Be intentional, pick the right people
Mhm.
so that when you're investing your money, it goes a long way.
You said the key word, invest. It's an
Mm-hmm.
investment. I don't
Yeah.
want people to think that, you should play it small when it comes to anything in regards to your brand and your business. You're going to spend some money. And if you don't spend some money, well, I'm not going to say that. You can probably still do it right, but
Mhm.
this is an overall investment. It's an investment, and you really do have to be intentional about it.
The trailblazers on here who are listening, they want to show up as the leaders. They want to show up as the star, the rock star of their event, right? What are some things that they need to be mindful of? And when working with a stylist, what are some questions that they might need to be asking so that they show up as that expert, that leader? They're telling their brand story and it's allowing them to really sell from the stage confidently and convert at events.
Well, one of the things that I do is I start well in advance. I'm working on clients now who have events in April and June. So, because it's such a collaborative effort, what I get is kind of the lay of the land of how the event is going to go. So, the event schedule, basically, or the run of show, is what you would hear event planners saying. So, I get the run of show. I like to look at the run of show and see what my client is going to be doing, What is it they're going to be teaching that particular day? I'm thinking about all of that so that when their audience is looking at them on the stage, there is still a connection there. It's not them being distracted by what my client is wearing. My client is still relatable at the end of the day. So I don't want them to be a distraction, but I also want them to stand out. So we're going to get pieces that are unique, that are different, that are not, usually they're not really mall purchases. There's something that are well thought out. There's something that are different. We've called in designers at times to come in and fully design full looks for clients. So something that's going to stand out, but also make you comfortable on stage as well, because you're not going to always probably want to be in heels all day. You're going to want to have some cute flats to the side of the stage waiting for you in case you have to kick them off. But everything from top to bottom has to make sense. It shouldn't be a distraction, but it should give you that pop where you still command the audience in the stage and them wanting to hear you as the expert that you are.
Yeah, for sure. You said relatability. And as I'm thinking about that, it's almost like it's relatability, but yet aspirational, right? Yeah, I always love the beginning of these conferences when the lights are down and they introduce the host and they come out just exactly like that, right? Like the rock star that they are. And I love when it's a fly outfit. It's like, everybody's on their feet.
I try to not shed a tear. Like, I get emotional on ones of events because I know how hard they work to put the event together.
Absolutely.
And the amount of time that we put in together with their looks. So seeing them walk down for the first
man,
so
I love that.
Yes.
It's like the kickoff to it, but it's also like the introduction and the reintroduction of this person to their audience, and they really get a chance to connect with them in a celebrity type way. But like you said, it's that blend, right? It's like a really good blend of relatable, but still aspirational. I saw an event where the host, she walked out and she had a cape. And I was just like, yes, come through. And she just like dropped it. It was just dramatic, over the top. And I instantly connected with her because I'm like, yes, I love the extraness of it all,
Yes.
So I think that's so cool. Everything that you do is amazing. The work that you do to really connect your clients with who they are, like that's so important, where there's just so much going on that could really disconnect you from who you are. But if you feel good and you look good and you can really show up for yourself, I think that it makes a huge difference. So I want to acknowledge you for the work that you do. So thank you so much for being here with me today. I love this conversation.
I appreciate being here. Thank you.
Absolutely. So before we close out, just let us know one last gem that you want to leave us with. That could be something that we didn't talk about today, but maybe it's something action oriented that you might want to leave people with. So let us know before we close out.
Yes. So my mantra this year is no playing small. We're not playing small. We are going after everything that God has called us to go after. We already know our purpose and we're executing. So don't play small. Go after everything that you desire and you were meant to have.
Boom, you heard it here. No playing small. Okay. You coming for what 2023 has to offer you. So before we close out, let people know how they could follow you or stay connected with you.
Yes, I am Curated by Drew on all platforms. So Instagram, Facebook, the TikToks, and I think that's it. Yes.
At least you're on the TikTok. So I'm just over here trying to figure out my social media life. Thank you once again, guys, for listening and tuning in. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this podcast episode. I hope you caught those gems. Now, let's fly.